Well, welcome back, everybody. Before I want to tell you, I jumped at the chance to introduce this particular segment of the thing here. And I did that because I don't remember which summit it was, but a few summits ago, we had a presentation that what I've learned after completing 28 online college courses by Elisa Fernandez. And I found that, well, I didn't have to look for it very hard because all of these proceedings end up on the site. But I linked that to the workshops that we do for new faculty who are planning on teaching online. And I use that at the end of the 4 or 5 day session that we have. And it's the one piece of the whole program that they really engage in and talk about and remember, years later. This is, of course, we're all here. We get a paycheck. We love to do what we do, but we're really here for the students. And so and I see them all up there. Hi, students. And so I think this is the most important thing we can do is find out what the students think. So I want to introduce our moderators, Michele Forte. I want to introduce Susan Warner. And they told me I don't have to give you long bios about them, so I'm not going to. The students that we have on board actually have a complete bio on the Summit site. So if you want to read everything about them, please go there. I've kind of edited it down a little bit just for time's sake. And I got to tell you, I can speak here all day long extemporaneously, but when I'm reading, I get all choked up. So please, I want your patience and understanding, and we will get through this. First of all, Anisha Brainer is a native of Rochester, New York, with roots in San Juan, Puerto Rico, now resides in, I was going to say Chile, but it's Chile, New York. She's currently a full-time hospitality management student at Monroe Community College. Balancing the demands of being a full-time student, Anisha is also a devoted mother of 4 boys, including an angel baby. Anisha has made her mark in the local scene, earning a mention in the Rochester Women Online magazine. Post-graduation, Anisha aspires to become a successful traveling event planner. Deb Bennett was born in Central New York and has lived in the area her whole life. She's been working in the accounting field for 7 years now and is currently working on her bachelor's degree in accounting at SUNY Plattsburgh. That's where I am. Not today. She's been attending Plattsburgh part-time since 2021, started full-time in the fall of 2023, and is scheduled to graduate in May of 2024. Most recently, she earned a place on the Dean's List for the fall semester of 2023, and she plans to start grad school in the fall of 24 to pursue a master's degree in accounting at SUNY Brockport or Syracuse University. Her short-term goal is to sit for the CPA exams after earning her master's. She's interested in international accounting and nonprofit. Curtis von Bergen hails from Waterloo, New York, and plans to complete his degree with online courses at Monroe Community College. Majoring in hospitality management, Curtis seamlessly blends academic excellence with community engagement. Not only did he earn a spot on the Dean's List for the fall 2023 semester, but he also recently achieved a milestone with his induction into the National Society of Leadership and Success, showcasing his commitment to leadership and academic success. Beyond his studies, Curtis is actively involved in local mutual aid groups, demonstrating his passion for service and making a positive impact on his community. Abrielle Hamilton, and please, I apologize if I'm butchering anybody's name. Abrielle Hamilton is a lifelong New York native who currently lives in the Hudson Valley. She completed her first 3 semesters at Dutchess Community College primarily online, before transferring to the fully online Sustainability Management Program at SUNY ESF. She interned for the Ulster County government over the summer of 23, and when the internship concluded, was offered a part-time job in the Ulster County Department of the Environment. The experience gained from this position has been invaluable and provided many insights about potential future career paths. She hopes to work in corporate sustainability upon graduation. When not working or doing school, she likes to read and rock climb. Matthew Berg is a father and a lifetime New Yorker from Suffolk County, Long Island. He is neurodivergent and physically disabled with stiff person syndrome, a disease that only affects 1 in a million people. Matthew is a first-generation college graduate, earning his Associates of Arts degree in social science history from SUNY Suffolk in the fall of 2010. He returned to academia when his son entered kindergarten in 2019, enrolling at SUNY Empire State, wishing to show his son the importance of education. The distance learning module at SUNY Empire allowed him to pursue his studies during the pandemic. He completed his undergrad education online, summa cum laude, with a Bachelor's of Arts in 2021 and applied to Empire's graduate program in social and public policy. He's presented and co-presented nationally and internationally, and has authored and co-authored published articles in the Journal of Engaged Research, the SUNY Empire publication, COVID-19 Crisis and Resilience, the International Journal of Advanced Corporate Learning, and a book chapter with Springer. And I'm not sure if that's Jerry Springer, but he'll fill us in with that. He earned his MA in Social and Public Policy with a 4.0 GPA in the spring of 2023, then entered Empire's newly launched Masters of Public Administration program in the fall of 23. Matthew is in his final semester of that program and hopes to continue in academia next fall at the doctoral level. And finally, Andrea Martin is a first-generation Caribbean American and native New Yorker, and an avid yogi and flutist. I'm sorry, but the flute is just very close to my heart, so I got all choked up there. We can talk about that later. She is the clinical care coordinator supervisor at a New York-based FQHC with over 18 years of experience in the healthcare field. She's been attending SUNY Alfred State to complete her degree in healthcare management to further her endeavors in healthcare. Andrea's goal is to provide comprehensive care to the LGBTQ community, address social disparities, substance abuse, HIV/AIDS in the aging population, and access to long-acting injectables for the treatment of and prevention of HIV. So with no further ado or stuttering, I would like to introduce you to the panel.
Thank you, John, for those introductions. And I too, like John, am so excited that we have this opportunity today to hear from our student panelists regarding their perspectives and experiences as online learners. So there's no doubt that the insights that they're going to share with us are going to be invaluable to us as we work to enhance remote and hybrid learning. So thank you, panelists, for taking the time out of your very busy schedules. I'm hoping that what we learned here today will have an impact on the future of online learning here at SUNY.
Yes, I'd like to add my thanks to the panelists, and I'd like you all to know that I accomplished eating 2 cupcakes yesterday. So your accomplishments are amazing, and I'm sure you will hear a rousing round of applause. We're going to start with a few questions just to get us all going. We've asked John to join us as a co-facilitator because we know his love for this particular event. When we were preparing for this, we prepared for it with a dialogue rather than a presentation in mind. And we assured our panelists that this is an eager crowd, a curious crowd. And so we encourage you to raise your hand. For our virtual audience, please, jump in. You're doing the chat, Alex, right? Oh, Diana's doing the chat. Okay. Okay, that's excellent. And our biggest concern is that an adult keeps track of time, because history tells us this will go over time. So with no further ado, let us start with our first question.
So to kick off this candid conversation, let's start at the beginning. So students, as you were thinking about returning to college or starting college, what were you looking for in the college, and what helped you decide to go to to enroll in an online program? Who would like to kick it off? Yes, we can.
Excellent. All right. I think probably the first thing I looked at, obviously, is cost. Being in New York State, most of the SUNY community colleges, are a lot less expensive for returning adults. So that was probably my number one thing I looked at. And then the next thing was convenience. I needed a college that was going to be able to provide online learning on a platform that worked for me. I wanted both. I wanted in person and I wanted online. And to get that in-person feel, the SUNY Plattsburgh platform offers a lot of discussions and stuff. So that's probably why I picked SUNY Plattsburgh, and hopefully I'm going to find that same thing at SUNY Brockport for the master's program.
Thank you, Deb. How about Anisha?
So honestly, like in my bio, so I'm very obsessed with like event planning, party planning. It honestly just started one day with my oldest son, just threw a birthday party for him. And then ever since then, I was like, nope, this is what I want to go to school for. This is what I want to be successful in. Honestly, and then I think a platform that actually did help a lot was like Brightspace.
Can you say more about that?
Yeah, so honestly, with Brightspace and everything, so with being on an online classroom and everything, I feel like Brightspace is just very successful in like doing assignments, quizzes, tests, of course, unless one of the professors have another outsource. So, but usually Brightspace, like I am in about my fourth quarter now. So like I've had used Brightspace since like day one wise for MCC. So definitely gotta say, and having the notes on there is very helpful as well too. Like a lot of information, getting in touch with the advisor.
Well, that's a big, good shout out to MCC, right? It sounds like the space there. Yep, your Brightspace was well organized and easy to maneuver. That's fantastic. Andrea, as you thought about going back to school or starting school, what led you to an online program at Alfred?
Can you hear me? Awesome. So kind of like Deb, so price was a big factor. Also credibility of the university. I felt like I could trust SUNY and the education that I would get from a SUNY school. So that was part of my decision. And flexibility. I have a very intense job. I cannot sit in a classroom. I do not have the time to sit in a classroom. I also am a mother, so I physically cannot be in any other space than the ones I'm already in. So those were the biggest factors for me, and making sure the school had a major that was in line with what I was trying to do career-wise. So I wanted my major to make sense for the career I already have and the trajectory I'm trying to get into.
Thank you very much. Kurt, did you have anything you wanted to add?
Sure. I chose MCC just because of their hospitality program and their linkage with Rochester Institute of Technology's hospitality at Saunders College. Their 2+2 it's just a program that I want to go through and then hopefully get my master's through like Cornell. But online study only, hopefully.
That's good to know. So you were looking at transfer options right at the moment that
Yes.
you were making the decision of where to apply. Thank you. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I hear career connections, flexibility, accessibility, right? Those are sort of the themes. So in terms of experiences with online course models, right? So we have blended, fully online, synchronous. What of those have you experienced? We've participated in, and then what stood out for you in those models? Pros, cons, etc. It sounds like a lot of you like the online, fully online, but we're curious if you've had any other experiences. And why don't we start with Abrielle?
Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
So I have only had experience with fully asynchronous classes online. And that was kind of what I was looking for. I work part-time and I have a house and family, and I can't necessarily do like a meeting at 2 o'clock on Wednesdays. And so that's really what's worked best for me. I will say that I have one professor that I've had a few times, and she always asks for just like a 15-minute Zoom meeting at the beginning of the semester to kind of, she gets to know you, you get to know her, and it really helps you to kind of understand like her as a person, and she learns about you as a student. And I feel like that's done a lot to building my connection with this professor. I feel like I can ask her any questions and she's, going to answer. And so I definitely think that the fully asynchronous with like an intentional meeting with the professor is really helpful.
That's great. Thank you. Matthew, did you have your hand up
No, I
earlier?
just I didn't know if I was going for the first question or not.
How about this one?
Yeah, okay, I could take this one. I mean, I went in person at SUNY Suffolk. I took hybrid classes and I took online classes. When I really hit my stride at SUNY Suffolk is when I started taking at least one online class each semester, and I got an A in every online class I took. Like I found it especially helped with things like math, because when I would take math in person, I have audio processing issues and I could not process what the professor was saying all the time. But when I took it online and could read the lectures and stuff, I was able to be able to handle the material much easier. And then when I came to Empire, what I found worked for me the best was actually independent study. And Empire, about 25% of all online classes are actually taken as independent study at the undergraduate level. And it is hugely beneficial, especially if you are someone who needed like ADHD extra supports and stuff in high school, because you get a one-to-one experience with the professor. You get to learn from the professor directly, and you have like meetings every couple of weeks with them to go over how you're doing with the material and everything. And I took about a third of my classes as an undergrad at Empire in that modality, and I found that was actually no, it was more than that. It was two-thirds, because I took 2 independent studies each semester and 1 online class. And I found that was the most beneficial. Unfortunately, they don't have that at the grad level. It's been all online classes. And one thing I have to say is I miss Moodle personally. Moodle had the 30-minute grace period to edit your posts. And I know myself and many other students miss that grace period. And we've looked into getting it through Brightspace, and apparently you can't get it to a time limited edit. So yeah.
I'm going to ignore that Moodle Brightspace comment. Thank you.
I'm keeping score.
Does anyone else want to weigh in on this question? If not, we can move on.
I think I just want to say something, touch on what Abrielle said about the connection with the professors. At SUNY Plattsburgh, it has been incredible because all the professors reach out and try to do a Zoom at the beginning of the semester, but they also, several of them will send an email throughout the semester. Hey, don't forget about me. I'm here. If you need me, do you want to meet, anything like that? So that constant reminder from them saying, don't forget I'm here for you, reach out, let's talk. That's super important to me, that they're always reminding you that they're there.
Yeah, so thank you for adding that. So I heard at least two of you say that instructor presence, so there's the flexibility of the modality, but instructor presence, I'm here if you need me, a human being on the other side of the computer screen is super important to feel connected. I'm looking around for my faculty member. Okay.
That's perfect because it kind of leads into the next thing I wanted to ask about in terms of feeling connected and belonging. We know as practitioners that that's really important to student success. And thank you for sharing about specific ways that your professors have helped you feel connected to them. So I'm wondering if anyone else has other examples of things that their professors have done to help them feel connected to them, or what about your peers? Is that something that you're interested in? Do you want opportunities to connect with your peers? Are you getting those kind of opportunities? The pros, cons, the good, bad, and ugly. Who would like to go?
I'll
Thank
go
you.
first. Oh, am I going? Am I on? Okay. So the classes that I've taken have had a lot of discussions, and I really enjoy when the professors jump into the discussions and comment on other students' posts or ask other questions to get you to go into another post by another student, because the requirement is only, you post one, you respond to two others, and if anyone asks you a question, you have to respond to that. So only 4 posts, but I've had professors really encourage you to discuss with other students. And it's actually driven me, I'm sure others too, but to send direct messages or emails to other students and actually collaborate or ask other questions about assignments to move forward through the course.
That's great. Thank you. Anyone else? Go right ahead.
So we have a student-run Slack channel that's kind of outside of the school's jurisdiction, sort of, but it's been a really great way for us to connect and just kind of have that back and forth and like, oh, hey, I don't understand this homework assignment. Can you, offer some insight? Like, how did you approach this homework assignment? And it's been super helpful. I know that our program advisor has also made a Teams channel that is kind of for the same thing. It doesn't really get utilized because this other channel existed first, but I definitely think just creating that, open space where people can just go and like chat and, have friendly conversations is like a really important way to kind of build the connection between classmates. And then I think that trying to get clubs to be more inclusive, to offer a Zoom option for, certain clubs that it works for, to just kind of let the students feel connected to campus in that way is also something that I hope we see more of.
That's great. Thank you, Abrielle. What platform is that on? The one that gets used?
It's a Slack channel.
Thank you. Anyone else? Connection,
Actually,
belonging? Go ahead,
yeah.
Deb.
We currently, I'm working with about 5 other students at SUNY Plattsburgh under the SBE chair. We're trying to create a club for online students to actually the same exact thing that Abrielle is talking about, to come together, to collaborate, and to build connections for when we leave for career. But we also want to bring in speakers for like partners from accounting firms, people from the state to come in and talk about like the controller's job, things like that. So we're running into a little bit of an issue because of the activity fees and things like that. So because as an online student, we don't pay activities fees. So to build a club like that just is a little bit more difficult. But yeah, that's something I think that could be huge. And we actually talked about Slack. So I'm very excited to hear, Abrielle, that works for you guys. That's very encouraging.
That's great. So Deb, the feedback you're getting from your classmates is that high interest in career connections?
Very much so. They want to build because as returning adults, a lot of us are in the industry already. We're already working in the field. So making those connections to people that are already in the field or may know someone in the field that's looking for employees, that's a huge piece of that we miss from online learning, because we get the emails all the time from all the clubs, like they have a CEO club, they have a global chain management club, and we can't go to any of those because they don't offer any kind of Zoom into it, because we don't pay activity fees, which is reasonable because students that are going live to college have to pay those activity fees to go, and online students don't. So I totally get that, but it's a little bit of a hindrance on that belonging piece, I think.
Thank you.
So we're looking around the room and our colleagues are looking at each other saying, well, that's a process issue, right? At the campus level. So thank you for raising that issue, because it's something that we need to know about to sort of restructure the way we think about welcoming online students. So thank you for that. It's very super important to everyone here and not here. So we started talking about this a little bit, but let's get into it a little bit more. Could you share an example of a highly engaging and impactful online class, and what made it so? What made it effective? Would anyone like to start?
Go ahead, Andrea.
I'm going to choose my healthcare management class that I'm in now, actually. I was gushing to one of my advisors about it because it is so in line with my current job in management. So like we were touching on human resources, we were touching on managing groups, teamwork, just, managing physicians and all of these other things. So it just felt so appropriate for my job and for everything that was going on. So it just felt like real life examples were happening along with the text as we were going along. So that was like really great to have that kind of correlation line up and happen when it did. So that was great scheduling to my advisor who's on here, who scheduled that class for me right now. But it still is my favorite class right now. So I'm more engaged because I can see it happening in real time, in real life. So I can like bring back real life examples to discussion and to the assignments. So I enjoy that class a lot.
John, did you want to say something?
Who else?
I guess I'll go.
There you go.
So one of the classes actually that I'm really interested in right now is advanced conference and event planning. So not to throw this out here or nothing, but like how a child loves candy as soon as they walk through the candy store, that's how I felt about this program. Like my professor and my advisor, soon as the class came back, they were like, hey, this class is, came back to the school, and we know how much you want to be an event planner, so here you go. And I'm just like so excited. Honestly, yeah, I gotta say, if it wasn't for my professor, Professor Griffin, honestly, I would have never even known about this class. She's been such a huge influence to my courses, checking in, making sure I'm doing okay mentally, and like making sure I'm just completing everything I gotta complete in order to graduate the end of this year. So definitely gotta say the professor's been so much helpful with everything.
Thank you, Anisha. That's great. Okay, so now I want to ask for some real feedback. So as you think about your courses that you've taken, maybe how they are designed and laid out in Brightspace, maybe how they're delivered by your professor, maybe about the supports that you receive throughout the semester. What do you wish you could tell someone or say to someone like, boy, if you could only do this, or if you could only make this tweak, or if you could only make this change, that would really be very helpful to me? Anyone?
So I think something that would be really awesome that Brightspace could add would be reactions. during discussion posts. I don't always find it necessary to post a response to other students or the professor, but it would be nice to have a thumbs up just to show encouragement to other students in the course. Because, you know, we don't have that face-to-face interaction or actual discussion in a classroom where like you get to see heads nod. So I think that that would just be a really nice addition.
I love that. Thank you. Matt.
Yeah, for me, it's like my biggest issue is that with Brightspace, there's no continuity. Like every class can be different depending on your instructor. And I've seen some instructors that will like hard lock modules for future modules, and you can't see anything that's coming up in the course. And I really like the ability to see what the future readings are because I like to read ahead. And at Empire, we have the course preview week, and I generally use that time to read the first module's readings and everything. And by the end of the first module, I like to get started on the second module's readings. But if the course is locked and the second module is not open until it actually starts, I can't do that. And I had one professor who would lock it, but then for our discussion posts in the modules, she expected us to make our initial post within the first 2 or 3 days of the module. But we didn't even have access to the readings until the start of the module. So she wanted our first post by Tuesday or Wednesday when we didn't even know what the readings were until the Monday. So I think that's a little far reaching. And other than that, I just prefer more substantial discussions, but less overall discussions, if you know what I mean. Like I have one class now where we have discussions every single week, and at the grad level, the amount of reading we do is enough alone where having to do a discussion post where it's only worth about 1% of your overall grade, it seems like it's like a cost benefit analysis, so it's like not worth it to really put in as much effort as I'd like to put into a discussion typically. So yeah.
Thank you. Who else?
I think I'd like to touch on this one too. Right along with what Matthew was saying, it's very hard because I'm taking 6 online classes right now. And for me to build my schedule, I have 5 different platforms plus Brightspace because I'm using like Pearson Labs, McGraw-Hill, and not all the professors use Brightspace as a regular calendar schedule. So I have one class that doesn't post any due dates at all, 2 classes that don't post due dates. So I have to go into the websites and pull out all my due dates. And I have my own Excel where I build for the entire month. It's for all 6 classes, what I have to do for each week for the entire month, because I'm terrified I'm going to miss something. I took 5 classes last semester and I did wind up missing one assignment throughout, and the professor was totally understanding. That's the other thing I keep forgetting to mention. The professors are so understanding. If I've reached out a couple times with the amount of course load I have, I'm like, I need like 2 more days. That's all I need. Can you just give it to me? All the professors are so, if you just explain that to them and they can see how many courses you're taking, they are so understanding about that. And that's pretty excellent. But yeah, that's that uniformity that Matthew was talking about with how things are entered in Brightspace would be incredibly useful. Incredible. Really.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I'll go really fast. So I'm going to echo the same thing Deborah and Matthew said. It would be nice if the discussions were more quality than quantity. So they do have a lot of discussion questions, and because it's not conversational, and sometimes the question is something that everyone is writing the same answer to. Like there is only one right answer. So I can't really respond to your right answer because it's already the right answer. Aside from saying kudos on getting the right answer. So it would be nice if the professor can jump in and maybe, highlight something else that was in the text that's interesting to kind of draw us into having conversation and have responses to other students. Otherwise, we're just copying and pasting the same answer we said under someone else's post pretty much because there's only one right answer. And then flexibility. My work is very busy. So maybe Monday and Tuesday, my schedule's insane. I cannot focus on schoolwork today and have a post for you by Wednesday, but I can probably get it to you by Thursday, Friday. Are you going to be flexible enough to understand that we are adult learners and we're multitasking? So that hard deadline of a Wednesday post, it's probably not going to happen the way you want it to happen. So just having that extra leeway, like this is a soft deadline, like we prefer that you submit your first post by Wednesday, but it's as long as it's in by Friday, we're okay with that. I would appreciate that kind of flexibility as well.
These are great points. Anyone else before we open it up to the audience for questions? Anyone else want to add? Okay, all right, let's open it up to the audience. Virtual and here in the room, who would like to ask the first question? Yes, please.
Hi there, this is Maureen Larson from Orange County Community College, and I'm trying to get my students to use more multimedia in discussions this semester. Would all of you or any of you be more comfortable responding to discussions if you did it by video or audio? Would that help?
I'll take that one. I mean, I would honestly rather have professors offer like an optional synchronous session once per module, and that can change your discussion grade based on that, or you can do that as an option instead of like engaging in the standard asynchronous discussion. So I think that can lead to conversations, and you can help you build relationships as an online student that you otherwise wouldn't really have the opportunity to build. So I think that would be
That's a
better
great
than
idea.
just uploading videos personally. So yeah.
That's
Thank you.
great. Thank you. Anyone else want to add?
I would just kind of agree with Matthew and then also add, like, make it an option. You can write, 300 words, or you can record a 3-minute video, and then you're going to have more diversity within the discussion board. You're going to have more things going on. It might be easier to find things to respond to. And then, yeah, have an option, like some weeks you want to get on the Zoom call and have a discussion that way, just to kind of have that flexibility, kind of mixes things up so it's not so stagnant the way discussion boards tend to be.
Great question. Thank you. Is there any virtual questions?
No virtual questions, but a lot of support and encouragement and appreciation for what everybody's been sharing with the group. So thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions here in the room? Yes, Simone.
Great presentation from, presentation discussion from all of you. I have, so earlier in our previous session, I'm assuming you guys weren't listening to that one, but the concept of campuses being concerned with what online students may miss out on, that would traditionally be things that in-person or residential students would bond with the college on. What aspects of, and I know you're all from different schools, but what aspects do you think your university or your campus could do to help you feel a stronger connection to your school outside of a relationship with your faculty or your classmates? Like, what else can we do to have you have, I don't know if SUNY Blue is universal across all campuses, but what would make you bleed blue?
So back to the connection.
Not all at
Oh,
once.
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think the tie-in, I think it was Deb who brought this up, like student activities being more virtually accessible. I know that MCC has a lot of clubs, but I know that many of them meet in person and are not virtual.
Can I be completely honest? I'm here for the degree.
Absolutely.
I'm here for the degree, not so much for the connections. Like I'm here to knock this out. Like I want to get this degree so I can keep moving forward. I don't know if it's just a healthcare major, but because healthcare is so vast and everyone is from very different spaces, like there's a radiologist tech in my class, then I'm doing what I do, and then there's someone else who's doing home care, and it's just completely different from what everyone else is doing. It's very hard for us all to connect per se, because I'm technically the only one who's doing management right now. Everyone's still trying to get into management. So we don't really have very much to connect on besides the class. So I don't know if it's like a course thing.
Okay. Yes.
I just wanted to add a follow-up question to that, because what I think I heard you say is that you're very career focused on what you want from your online university. So if the connection is not clubs and activities, could your institution be doing more with offering career services, networking events, or things that might, promote your career focused at the online student?
Absolutely. If you had clubs or any kind of activities that was geared towards what I was interested in career-wise, I would definitely love that. I want to network with other people who are in the healthcare industry, who are, doing healthcare management right now, maybe in a hospital setting or a clinic or a nonprofit, so we can see what those management styles look like, or, how this degree translates to real life with people who are kind of using their degrees in the same space. So yeah, if you can give us workshops or, a Zoom lunch and learn with some, content and folks who can kind of encourage us on this journey and show us like where we can go and what we can do with the degree, I would absolutely attend those because that's useful.
Would
That's
there
great.
be-
Thank you.
Would there be an opportunity, since each school has its own programs, would there be an opportunity to offer alumni mentorships? That would be huge to me, because we have a lot of alumni that come in and talk to us that go out and work in the field. So if there's some sort of mentorship, I mean, once I go back into the field, I would love to do a mentorship with someone that was still an online student. I would love that. So.
I'm sorry, I just wanted to clarify. Are you saying internships or mentorships?
Mentorship.
Thank
Like
you.
pairing someone with an alumni that's in their field that can help them further themselves on a personal and a professional level, because being an adult learner is very difficult because you are managing so many things. So having that personal and professional connection could be huge.
Andrea, I wanted to circle back to what you said, that, I'm here for the degree. I just want to get this and knock it out. And I hear that often from adult learners. And so I'm wondering, from your perspective, is there anything else that your institution or any other university could do to help that student finish quickly, to get in there and knock it out?
I was in the previous session and they were talking about class length. Like how many weeks is advantageous to the student. I think like the 7 or 8 week range is pretty good as long as the content is acceptable, but also the workload, because someone has a question in the chat that I was going to respond to, but unlocking the classes in advance, that's great, but all of the weeks vary. So week 1, it might be 1 discussion post and 1 assignment. Then week 2, it's like an essay, an assignment, 2 discussion posts. And then week 3 is like, read this article. And then week 4 is like 2 essays, 3 discussion posts. And it's like, there is no way for you to like do all of the things that you want us to do when it's staggered like that. So like those soft deadlines and like making the class make sense. So if it's 2 assignments a week, we can handle 2 assignments a week. If it's 2 discussion posts and an assignment, like kind of let's have a format so we know what to expect. Because again, our work lives are very busy, our personal lives are very busy. I can't do 2 essays, 4 discussion posts, and any, mini, miny, mo on week 4, when that's what we weren't doing the first 3 weeks. So that's just to answer someone's question in the chat, but hopefully I answered your question.
Thank you.
We have another question. Oh, we have another question in the chat. Sorry, Jeremy Howard, he's an advisor and he's wondering if there's anything missing from the ways online students are supported that advisors or coaches could help fill in. In other words, do you notice a gap in your support network or the way you're helped to succeed?
I can jump in on that. At Empire this year, they launched coaches to go along with your mentors for undergrads, but we don't have that at the grad level. And that was something that I was concerned with when they were introducing it. I was president of the SGA last year at Empire, and I brought that up then, but they still haven't really done anything about it at the grad level. I think they're trying to work on peer mentorships now, but yeah, we could definitely use more support at the grad level, I think, because we do have a lot of students who are coming in, haven't been to school in a long time, and they're looking to get an advanced degree to advance their career, but they definitely could use a refresher and use those supports that we're not getting at the grad level. So yeah.
Any other questions in the chat?
Yes, we have another question. What if you had the resources, information, and due dates ahead of time? Example, you know in week 1 that you have a paper or project due in week 6. Something like a course guide as part of the information you get up front. I think it was Andrea that was talking about the inconsistency of format.
Yeah, I can say from personal experience that I'm all for that. I have had some professors, because of my accommodations for ADHD, they will share with me the syllabus for the course with like all of the readings at the beginning of the semester, and I've found that to be incredibly beneficial. I don't know if anybody else wants to weigh in.
That would be lovely. I would absolutely adore a professor who did that, because then I can plan out my I can plan out my life around your schedule and the assignments. So I could probably knock out that week 6 essay during week 3 and submit it whenever you want me to. But it gives me the flexibility to do things in my own time, which I appreciate. And I know some professors do put the syllabus online, but some professors use syllabuses from previous sessions and lectures. So sometimes the dates don't match what you have in the syllabus versus what's in Brightspace. Sometimes there are assignments that are not the same or are missing, or because you deleted it and decided you didn't want to do it this course session. So while you provide the syllabus, it has to be accurate for it to be beneficial. So do that, that'll be great.
To kind of echo Andrea and Matthew's point, the most effective class that I have ever taken in terms of scheduling, the professor straight up in the first week was just like, every week you will do this, this, and this until week 9. And then in week 9, you're going to start working on your final project for the rest of the semester. This is the due date for the first part. This is the due date for the second part. This is the due date for the third part. Here you go. And it was so easy for me to just know, okay, every week I have to do this and this, and then at this point I have to transition and start working on my final project. And so to have that straight up, like from the beginning, this is how it's going to be, this is exactly what the requirements are, it was so helpful.
Kurt in the virtual chat mentioned something along the same lines as the student who was just talking. Said students today have very busy lives. Posting a module on Monday with an assignment due by midnight seems unfair for students who have other daily commitments. So scheduling and thinking about the scheduling, not having it be arbitrary, Friday at midnight or whatever, is important.
To touch on that, I really enjoyed the hard deadlines, but only if the modules are open in advance. Like I said in the chat, to post a full module and then say you have reading assignments, an essay, and a discussion post due by midnight tonight, I might work 8 to 5, and then I have commitments from 6 until 8. I can't spend 3.5 hours on Monday night after I get home to do that. Online learning, I expect that I'm going to be able to work this course at my pace, but with structure. But that isn't structure. That seems like poor planning on the professor's part.
Hi, I'm Donna Simiel from SUNY Niagara. And this might seem like a stupid question, but I'm always interested. Would you prefer to have due dates like Monday Friday, middle of the week? What works best for you, depending on your schedules? And do your instructors give you the option to kind of pick ahead of time? Have you ever had anybody do that? And there's a second part to the question. Would you prefer like a 6 p.m. deadline instead of a midnight deadline? Because maybe you would do it earlier in the day to get answers to your questions. Okay. All right.
This actually came up about a year and a half ago or so. I know SUNY SA was trying to implement a 5 p.m. deadline. And when we brought that up to students at Empire, they were livid, and we brought it to the attention of the University Senate, and they said it would never happen here. So
So on that I did too. Hi, Jeff Dugan, Finger Lakes Community College, and it's a horrible game, right? Because faculty don't want to work over the weekend, students do. And that makes a lot of sense, right? Especially for students that are working. What about, so I know there's no way to get a perfect due date, right? My thought is Monday at midnight so that you have all of Monday to ask those questions. Have you had, what response rates seem to be appropriate? Is a day enough time to get your questions answered or not? And what do you think about a Monday midnight due date? I'll put this in there too. I also have my modules start Monday morning. So there's an overlap of one day. How does that sound? Is that perfect? Did I figure it out or no?
I mean, I'm happy with the Sunday midnight or Monday midnight. Either one is fine. I just want the full week to get it all done. Like that midweek deadline is horrendous. Give me the end of the week or at the Monday deadline that we overlap a little bit, and I will be quite content in the class.
yeah, the informal deadline I've heard from some professors is that it's not officially really due until they actually look at it and grade it, which won't be until the Monday or at some time, or maybe even Tuesday if they don't look at it on Monday. So I like that practice a bit.
For me, I think I basically schedule school like work. So because I'm taking 6 classes, Monday through Saturday, is a class each day. And then if there's extras like studying for an exam or something, I would do that on the Sunday. So that can be scheduling it out for me is the only thing that works.
I have a question about the discussion board. I'm currently an online learner, and one of our instructors does not grade us every week on the discussion board, but says, here are the things you need to do to be successful. And at the end of the semester, it's 30% of your grade. She pops in and out, during the week and responds to students. Would that approach where you have your discussion board available, where you would respond on a weekly basis based on the terms, like have your stuff in by Friday and all that weekly, but then overall, like you should know at your level of learning, do you need to be graded every single week on your progress? Because maybe the assignments or the case studies or the papers are where the core learning is, and the discussion board is for the class development to see if you understand the material. Is that a better approach so you're not so worried about getting your posts in on time?
I can comment on that a little bit. I have a professor who I had last semester and I have again this semester, and it's that kind of a thing where it's, these are the discussion posts. There's not one every week. It's worth, I think, 20% of the grade, and she grades it at the end of the semester. And she said, if you have any questions at any point and you want to know, am I doing okay in this? You can reach out and I'll take a look at it and kind of provide feedback. But yeah, as someone who's been in an online learning setting for a while, I feel like you kind of know what is good and bad for a discussion board. And I do find that I don't feel as stressed about it because it's not like, okay, this is, 100 points this week and I have to, make sure that I get this in. And I still do the work, but I'm able to engage a lot more effectively because I don't know, she's just kind of removed, like maybe I have a week that I don't have a super strong response because I don't connect with the material. And then the next week I really connect with it and I write a really, really good response. And so it's kind of your discussion board as a whole, not like a week to week thing. And I definitely think that helps.
With the discussion boards, the only thing that I find a little annoying is that they ask for cite your work in your discussion post. I'm like, we're responding to the textbook. This is the text we just read. So we're all citing the textbook at the bottom of each of our posts. And it's just like, did we need to do that every single time? I thought it was open discussion. So it feels like a little mini assignment every week because you now have to actually do research to kind of find more data points or sources for why you feel the way you did or whatever it is. So the discussion posts are for me additional assignments when you ask for all of that. You're not asking to have a conversation. You're asking for me to do mini research and respond to your question.
Adding on to that, those are the kind of discussion posts where I get frustrated because it's such a low part of your overall grade for the semester. It's like one of my classes right now, we have 12 discussions throughout the semester, and it's worth a total of 25%. And then the rest of the grade is based on 3 essays, which are each worth 25% also, or 20%, 20%, and 30% for the final. So it's like one essay, which overall will be much less words than my discussion posts across an entire module, is worth much less than the discussion posts that we have to do and everything like that. So it's not that I want to see more discussion posts or see discussion posts weighted heavier. I think there should just be less so that they're more substantive and everything. So yeah.
Oh, look, we're over time. Surprise, surprise. So I don't think we could thank you enough, but we're about to. You've given us a lot of things to think about in terms of presence, in terms of our own flexibility in course design and approach and due dates and accessibility in all ways. Thank our colleagues for their questions. Thank our colleagues online for their questions. And please, everyone, join us in thanking our panel.
Thank you so much to the panel moderators and to our amazing online students. Thank you for doing this for us. It's so important to hear your perspectives and your voices. I love the diversity of your experiences, and I think we have all appreciated hearing directly from you on some of these very important things. Kind of preaching to the choir here, we're faculty, online instructional designers. We sense sometimes your pain and your challenges, but it's so amazing to hear it from you directly also. So thank you all so much for taking time to come and speak with us about this. It's very, very impactful and valuable to us. Thanks again to the virtual moderator, Diane, and all of the virtual participants from within SUNY and outside of SUNY, and all of us here in the room. We're about to take a lunch break. So for our virtual audience, please have a great lunch and come back for the 15th annual unsession. I think it's the first thing we're doing after lunch. For those of us here in the room, we have a lovely lunch set up for us out here in the foyer. We can eat in here. You can eat out there. You can find another spot on the 2nd or 3rd floor. Please don't go to the 4th or 5th floor. There's a cafe on the 3rd floor with limited seating where you can go and sit down if you like. I hope you'll network with our panelists who are here and with each other. And what else am I forgetting? Thank you. Yes, did you have something? The photo. Oh, yes. Thank you, Jeremy. Oh, my goodness. We're going to do a group photo. So your ticket to lunch, for those of us who are here physically, we're going to go right now and go climb the stairs, and we're going to take a picture of everybody who's here physically on the stairs. So yes, we can't forget that. Thank you, Jeremy.
This is the first set of stairs. We're not going all the way up to the top.
Well, no, right. Yeah, exactly. So let's get our picture, then we can have lunch, and then we'll come back at 1:30 for our annual unsession. Hope all of you virtually have a great lunch and that you'll come back in an hour.
Thanks again to the students. I can still see you there.
Yes, hang on
It was
one second.
Awesome to meet you. Thank you.
Hang out one quick second, Susan, and I want to say thank you personally, though I just said it in a microphone to 4 million people. Hang on.